We don't allow drug dealers in this neighborhood, so why don't you pack up your crack den and go back to the gutter where you came from? Yeah, imagine that's how you get welcome to your new street. Not a basket of muffins, not a smile, just a line like that, lobbed straight over the fence by a woman who looked like a melted Pepto-Bismol bottle. That's exactly what happened to me 2 hours after I'd moved in. The moving truck hadn't even cooled off, my boxes weren't halfway unpacked. I was still in my dusty work clothes, standing on my patchy little front yard, finally living the dream I'd worked for a decade of, saving 2 jobs, picturing that maple tree and those blue shutters, my own slice of quiet. And then wham, that voice, sharp and ugly, just ripped right through the peaceful afternoon. I look over and there they are, 2 sisters I'd learned soon enough, standing on their porch. A mirror image of my house, only the grass more crab than green and paint peeling off the siding. They were both big, not that I cared, but what stood out was the matching flamingo pink tracksuits, sour pinched faces, and brassy blonde hair like someone put a helmet on a grapefruit. I'm a calm guy. Years of teaching high school band kids how not to murder the trumpet will do that to you. I took a breath, decided to kill him with kindness. "Hey there," I called out, trying my best not to sound rattled. "Just moved in. I'm your new neighbor." The older one, the screamer, sneered like she just bit a lemon rind. "We know what you are. We've seen your kind before. You show up, music gets loud, cars all night. Then the property values go down the toilet. Not on this street, not while we're here." Her sister just nodded, arms crossed like she was afraid her chest would escape. I tried to smile even though my face felt like it was cracking. "Ma'am, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I'm a teacher, not the party type. Only thing you'll hear from my house is a trumpet squeak or two." They didn't care. They gave me one last look like they'd just found a cockroach in their cereal and slammed their door. I stood in that sudden silence, all the good feelings of a new start just leaking away. It hit me this wasn't going to be the easy, peaceful life I'd pictured. I had moved in next to the 2-headed flamingo, and they'd made it clear no matter how nice my lawn looked, I wasn't welcome. First shot in this war came 3 days later. I went to grab my mail and poof, my mailbox was gone. Not knocked over, not dented, obliterated. Post snapped, box mangled in the ditch, no tire tracks, nothing. I figured it was kids, maybe some bored teens. Spent my Saturday putting up a new one, same as before. Life goes on. Right, no clue. This was just round 1. The following week, I'm grading band quizzes at the dining room table and I hear a crunch, one of those sounds you feel in your molars. Look out, and there's a red sedan hauling tail down the street. Run outside, my new mailbox is not just hit, it's flattened, post splintered to nothing. Red car familiar. Oh yeah, that would be the same one parked next door. Part of me didn't want to believe it, but let's be honest, I'd already seen who I was dealing with. So I took a breath, walked next door, knocked. The younger sister answered, clutching a tiny, yappy dog like it was her only friend. I kept my voice friendly. "Hey, not accusing, but someone in a red car just took out my mailbox. Did you maybe see anything?" Just a flat, "Nope." The older one shows up, wiping her hands, oozing fake sweet. "Maybe if you didn't have so many clients, your mailbox wouldn't be in the way." I snapped. "I'm a school teacher. The only clients I have can barely park, much less do drive-bys on a mailbox." She laughed, one of those sharp, ugly sounds. "You accusing us? You better have proof. Who do you think the police are gonna believe, us or you?" She gestured at my face. Door slammed in my face. It was clear this wasn't about mail. This was about power, and they thought they had it all. I replaced my mailbox again, this time with heavy-duty steel, thicker post. Figured maybe they'd get bored. Oh, I was naive. 3rd time artistic destruction. Didn't just run it over, took a bat to the steel, ripped it out of the ground, threw it into my roses, left the red flag broken at the curb like a taunt. That was it. I'd had enough. Called the cops. The officer who showed up looked 12, already tired. I told him everything pointed out the red sedan. He sighed. Did you see them do it? I hadn't. Without video or a witness, there's nothing I can do. I can go talk to them. He did, and the sisters turned into sweet little grandmas for him. Hands clasped, shock and horror, worried about the new element on the block. Officer comes back. They deny everything. Maybe get a security camera. I just stared my own complaint used against me. The sisters stood at their window smiling, cold, triumphant. That's when I snapped. If they wanted a war, I'd give them one, but on my terms. The cops' advice was a gift. I bought 4 security cameras, covered every angle, mailbox, porch, drive, backyard. Set up mailbox number 4, a decoy, plain and vulnerable. I waited. 2 nights later, my phone buzzes. Red sedan, 11 p.m. Jumps the curb, smashes the box, peels out. All on 4K video. Faces, plates, everything. I called the police. Same young officer this time. Watching the tape, his face changed. You got him, he muttered. Charges were filed. The sisters shrieked and flailed, but the evidence was ironclad. The law finally worked, at least a little. They got a court date, had to pay for damages, stern warning, any more harassment, and they'd be arrested. I thought, hey, maybe now I can breathe. Yeah, that happened. But instead of backing off, the sisters doubled down, only this time psychological warfare. Dogs barking all night under my window, lawnmower at dawn, wind chimes that sounded like a car accident, complaint after complaint to the city grass too long, garbage can out too early, music too loud. Neighbors started to avoid me, whispers, side eyes. I was alone fighting 1,000 paper cuts. Lawyer said they're smart, just under the legal line. The court date for the mailbox came. The sisters in black dresses like twin vultures pleaded no contest. Judge fined them $50, ordered restitution. They walked out smirking. Older one leaned in. This isn't over. And I believed her. But I was done being the victim. Time to fight smart. I built a mailbox that looked wooden but was really a 5-foot steel pipe sunk in concrete, camouflaged with a wood sleeve. Legal, but unbreakable. I waited. For weeks, nothing. Got to know George, my neighbor across the street, a quiet old mechanic. He told me the sister's backstory. Bitter father lost his city job in a scandal house, their only status. It's not just about you, George said. It's about legacy, pride, and a whole lot of old hurt. Finally, on a golden October evening, it happened. The red sedan revved, barreled across my lawn, and smashed full force into my new mailbox. Wood splinters steel, revealed mailbox unfazed car, totaled front end wrapped around my maple tree. The sisters stumbled out, powder from the airbags on their pink suits, older one bleeding, younger one bawling. Police and paramedics arrived. Older sister claimed I'd set a trap, blamed brakes, a deer, a child, anything. The sergeant watched the footage, no deer, no child, no brakes. He cited them for reckless endangerment, lying to police, vandalism. Their insurance denied the claim. The war was over. Or so I thought. A week later, a lawsuit. The sisters sued me for creating a public hazard. My lawyer laughed. This is a slap suit meant to bury you in legal fees. But now we can countersue for harassment and we get to see their finances. Turns out they didn't even own their house. It belonged to a holding company which traced back to a giant developer buying up land, waiting for a state highway. The sisters paid to make the block miserable so people would sell low. The mailbox war was cover for a corporate land grab. Old George remembered the sisters' father ranting about city plans hidden property lines, and a highway that would run right through the neighborhood, turning their backyard into commercial gold. The developer wanted this land for a gas station, and the sisters, funded by corporate money, were their foot soldiers, using hate noise and legal harassment as weapons. My lawyer connected all the dots, dug up payments, found a salary to the sisters for services rendered. Faced with real legal firepower, the younger sister flipped, testified, spilled everything. News crews camped on our street. The city investigated, developer shame lawsuit, drop settlement paid to me. Neighborhood saved. The sisters, one gone, one broke house, foreclosed. But one detail nagged at me. The sisters were obsessed with that one spot, the mailbox. The father had stolen city money but died broke. Where'd it go? County records showed an abandoned pipe under my mailbox. Public Works announced a new dig for water lines would pass right through that spot. I tipped off police. On dig day, as the backhoe bit into the dirt, the older sister stood on her porch, pale as a ghost. The operator hit metal. They found an old Army ammo box, $2 million in cash, the father's embezzled fortune hidden for 30 years. With the confession, news exploded. The city used the money to repair poor neighborhoods the father's scams had sabotaged. They gave me a reward, 10%, $200,000, which I donated back to the fund. The peace I dreamed of finally returned. But the universe had one more twist. The maple tree wounded in the crash had to come down. In the heart of the trunk, the removal crew found a wooden chest inside journals and photos from the black homesteader who'd first owned my lot in the 1880s, my great-great-grandfather. He'd planted that maple as a sapling, built the first house here, lost it to foreclosure in the Depression, erased by suburbia. So after all that racism, mailbox wars, corporate greed, it turned out I hadn't just bought a house. I'd come home. Their whole campaign to prove I didn't belong only led me right back to the roots of my family, hidden for a century in the heart of a tree. The final punchline. The sisters tried to run me off, but the only person who truly belonged on this street was me. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about justice, about neighbors, about the difference between law and what's right? Ever fought a battle you didn't choose? Ever stood your ground? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own story. And let's talk about what it really means to come home.